Welcome to Wicket Wonder, your go-to podcast for all things cricket. I'm your host Nayan, along with co-host Darshan, and today we're going to be talking about the World Cup squad for India and the other World Cup squads for in the T20 World Cup this summer.
So a lot of the World Cup teams have been announced, and it's been interesting to see the selection so far. So starting off with India, there have been a few names that really didn't make the squad that I believe should have, including Rinku Singh and Ruturaj Gaikwad. What are your thoughts on this, Nine?
Wait, so one thing that I found was that Rutraj Gaikwad is having an insane IPL season right now, but if you think about it, how would he fit into this team?
What I think is Jaiswal. I think he's been playing well, but Ruturaj Gaikwad has shown his consistency throughout the IPL. He hit a few games ago, he hit 100, and then next game 98. The following game around 60 or 70. So he's really consistent with the bat. But I think Jaiswal is he's definitely has that power and that intent to score. But if you really need a stabilizer, Gaikwad could be there.
But
What do you think?
I think that Jaiswal would be a better option because I feel like in Rohit Sharma's team, his goal is to try to bring out the aggressive nature of the players, and we'd want the opening batsman to always start off strong. So I feel like Jaiswal would play that role better. That too, since him being a lefty, he's always going to be preferred over the righties, including Shubman Gill and Gaikwad. And I feel like Shubman Gill was in the line before Gaikwad.
Yeah, that's right. And moving down a little bit in the order, we got Kohli coming in at 3 probably, and then Surya Kumar Yadav. Those two I think definitely deserve that spot. And then
Do
it
you
gets
think
interesting.
Shaurya Kumar Yadav should play three and Virat Kohli should open with Rohit Sharma and drop Jaiswal?
Yeah, that's also an option. If you want to play that extra batter, we can play Sanju Samson and Punt. So you don't need to really focus on having picking one wicket keeper when one can keep and one can field.
I think having Rinku Singh in the reserves is fine because I don't see a place on this team. The only place where he would have fit into this World Cup squad was instead of Shivam Dubey.
What I think is India really don't have that finisher that can really win games for them. They have some good middle order batsmen like Punt, Samson and Pandya. Pandya can definitely finish innings, but I think he hasn't been like before performing, and he hasn't been finishing innings for MI or in past T20 internationals. So Rinku Singh can really win games and finish off the inning well.
Yeah, you're right. But one thing that we've seen is that this batting attack, I don't think it'll come down to that low order batting because I think they're going with a heavy batting unit because their main spinners is going to be Jadeja, Akshar Patel, right? Which also provides batting depth as they can also provide a finisher role. I feel like Hardik Pandya, he's also going to come down a little lower, which is also beneficial as they still have a lot of batting depth. So I don't think the finisher role is really necessary.
Yeah, that's true, but you never know. When it comes down to the situation, the pressure, only the mentally fit will prevail, and we've seen that Rinku Singh's really good at that.
Yeah, we saw that match that KKR Gujarat.
Yeah, what a game that was.
Yeah, and honestly, I don't know why Nathrajan isn't in the squad because I mean, I understand why they picked Arshdeep because he's had more international experience. But Natarajan has showed that under pressure he's performing. Like we saw it just the match against Rajasthan, he executed his Yorkers and I think he only gave under 8 runs in a important over.
Yeah, Nattu has been really good for SRH. He's really constricted the batting units of many of the teams, hitting that Yorker and that slower one. Arshdeep Singh, he has been doing not that great this IPL. He had a better one last 2 years, but this one he hasn't been performing as much. So even the likes of maybe Sandeep Sharma, who's also been performing this year, may have been a better option to go with.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, there was better options that Team India could have gone with. And Arshdeep, he's also in international cricket. He just this past year, he hasn't really shown any promises. Like when he first made his debut for India, he showed high skill, swinging the ball, taking wickets. But I don't see that ability in him anymore. And in IPL, it's showing that.
Yeah, I think what India really wants from Arshdeep is that experience of already being played some international matches. So Nattu, he hasn't played that much international matches. and Sandeep Sharma still hasn't even made his debut. So they really want someone who knows what the international level is like. Because IPL and international level is completely different. So they really want someone who knows the game and can perform at that level.
Yeah, I mean they're both completely different, but if you think about it, Arshdeep Singh with that much experience in the IPL, he should be doing good. But I think a reason why he's not doing as well is because we've seen in this IPL that there's more attacking approach. So maybe like his variations and it's like not up to the high standard, which is why he might be getting licked all over the ground. Because like maybe he's becoming too predictable and like too like average. Well, if you like look at bowlers like Natarajan and Sandeep Sharma, they have like really strong skill sets, which is why they're finding success. And I feel like in this World Cup, a lot of teams are gonna be coming out a lot more aggressive. Because if you see this likes of Phil Salt, you see Australia, what Pat Cummins is trying to do.
I think you're right about teams being more aggressive in the IPL. There's really been that fearless mindset that's going through all the batters' head. The modern game just demands more runs, and I think it's just turning into a batting game. So it'll be interesting to see if the approach is the same this World Cup.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of teams are definitely gonna be more aggressive. Like we can see like in the World Cup, like this the 50 over World Cup, Rohit Sharma was trying to lead like with an aggressive approach. And in T20 it's gonna be a lot so there's gonna be a lot more intent.
Yeah, you're right. And as we move on to the Indian spinners, so there's a good variety of spinners, but we really don't know how the USA and West Indies pitchers are gonna play. As like the USA pitchers are fairly new, they're pretty unpredictable. So teams will be like blocked in their minds as to like what to play, the playing 11 starting. So they got Jadeja, Akshar Patel, UC Chahal, and Kuldeep. So what are your thoughts on the combos and the variations?
Wait, so you've played in West Indies, right?
Yeah, I've played in Jamaica.
So like how do you think the pitches are? Like do you think they're more like pace friendly, spin friendly, or just like batting tracks?
I feel like it's really depending on the conditions. Because when I went there, it was raining all the time, so the pitch was very damp. So it really favored the spin bowlers and the pace bowlers equally. But if you look at like Trinidad and Guyana, the pitches are more seam, and there's a lot of cracks in there as well. And if you really put your back into it, you can get bounced. So I think it's really a good variation of spin and pace is needed in the playing 11.
I think pace, I mean Jasprit Bumrah is like phenomenal. He's one of the best bowlers in the moment. But it's just a second pacer is a little bit doubtful. Because would you go with Siraj or Arshdeep?
It's tough, but if you want that left arm option, I think you gotta go with Arshdeep.
I think yeah, left arm options there, but I feel like if they're gonna go for like death overs, do you think like because Boomer's probably gonna bowl 2 overs in the beginning power play and 2 overs at the back, and
Yeah,
if they're
I
going
think
like heavily on spin, there's at least gonna be 2-3 overs of spin power play, and up until like the last few overs.
yeah, I think if they want like another death over bowler, Arshdeep's a better option than Siraj because we see Siraj, he's been doing not so good this IPL. He's been getting whacked all over the place. His confidence would also be down, but Arshdeep does have that good Yorker and that slower ball, which Siraj does lack. So I think if you're looking for death bowlers, Arshdeep would be a better option.
And also, do you think the ball will swing like in those conditions?
Yeah, I think there will be swing, but I think just for the first 2 to 3 overs. After that, it's just gonna stay straight. So it'll be interesting to see how they get any slips in there or be attacking or defensive first few overs. Because any early wickets can definitely put the pressure back on the batting team.
Okay, I think what my World Cup team would be with this India squad, I would open with Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, have Sky one down, Rishabh Pant two, Shivam Dubey three. So how much is that? Five, right?
Yeah,
And I wouldn't play Sanju Samson, but I'd have Hardik Pandya six, then Jadeja Akshar to follow. That's eight, and then I'd have Kuldeep, Bumrah, and Arshdeep.
yeah, it's a pretty good squad.
So no Shivam Dubey, no Sanju Samson, and no Jaiswal. And no Yuzi Chahal.
So for me, I think I'd get Rohit Sharma and Jaiswal because we see Jaiswal is going hard at the bowlers. So if he tees off, it'd be a great start. And then one down Kohli, two down Surya, three down Punt, and then four down. I'm thinking with a Hardik or Dubé, but just because he's vice captain, we'll put Pandya there. And then Jadeja. And then I think I'd want that Kuldeep Yadav variation because he brings a lot of variations as he turns it in. He also has that wrong one.
Yeah, lefty also.
And then Arshdeep, and then Bumrah. And I think that should be 11.
Arshdeep and Boomer, yeah. But I feel like Kohli at one down, like everyone else who's part of the team has a very aggressive mindset. So I feel like having Kohli opening with Rohit Sharma, it'll provide more balance to the team as like Rohit Sharma is like ultra aggressive, and Kohli, I feel like the more balls he plays, the more aggressive he'd get. So like starting with Kohli at the top would be like real ideal for like him to accelerate in the middle phase and near the end.
Yeah, it's true. But the thing is, if you lose Kohli early, then there's no glue to that batting lineup. Everybody to come is just aggressive. But if you get, like, even if they lose Rohit Sharma or Jaiswal early, there's still Kohli that can bat around people like Surya Kumar and Rishabh Pant, so it can allow them to play their natural game.
Do you think Samson deserves a spot in this team?
I think it'll be after like few games to see how Pant is doing. If he's scoring, then they just back Pant. But otherwise, I think Samson has to come in.
I think Samson. I'm honestly not a huge fan of his inclusion in this team because he's playing well in the IPL, but he was actually given a lot of chances in international cricket, and he hasn't done well.
Yeah, but the thing is, Sanju's a rare talent. His technique is out of this world. And I think if he just backs his ability and trusts his strokes, he can really do good.
Loki, KR Rahul, and Ishan Kishan, I feel like were better options. But the problem is that they're top order batsmen.
Yeah, that's true. Sanju's more of a middle order batsman. He also plays spin very well, picks
Yeah.
length very well as well.
I'm a huge fan of Ishan Kishan. I wish he was in the squad too.
I think he's been scoring a little bit, but not as much as he was like 2 3 years ago. Consistency has definitely dropped.
But one thing I noticed was that like he can like play in like those big like in crucial situations. Because I remember one match it was against Pakistan in the Asia Cup. Like everyone in the top order collapsed, and it was Ishan Kishan and Hardik Pandya who scored 70. And you know Hardik Pandya is known for like these clutch situations. Shows that Ishan Kishan can also like live up to that.
Yeah, that's also true. But you got to keep in mind the format as well.
Yeah, that was one day, but who knows? There's also the option of bringing in UC Chahal. What do you think of that?
Yeah, I think Chaha will be really useful on these slow tracks that USA has to give. So in Dallas, that the major league occurred. I think the tracks did get a lot slower as the tournament progressed. So it'd be interesting to see if he can get some turn. If he just tosses it up, he can definitely bamboozle the batsman when needed.
But recently, like he's had a great first half of IPL, but second half he's been getting licked by almost every team that he's played so far.
I think it was just this recent game actually. I think he went for like 4 overs around 60, one of his like most
Yeah,
expensive
he went
spells.
60 plus, and I think if I'm gonna pull it up right now, but I'm pretty sure the last few games. Who did Rajasthan play last? So they played Sunrisers, and then they played Lucknow. So against Lucknow, he got hit for 41 for no wickets.
Yeah, according to him, he'd want to do a lot better.
Yeah, so I feel like Kuldeep could provide a better wicket taking option. I mean, along with Jadeja and Akshar Patel. But
Yeah,
that would give you three lefties, left spinners.
yeah, but one of them is turning the ball inside.
Yeah,
So
they're all different types. So, but Charles is a smart bowler, but I don't know because sometimes he can get like licked for a lot of runs. Because I'm pretty sure in a few IPL seasons he's taken wickets, but he's also been hit for the most amount of sixes.
yeah, he takes wickets at continuous phases, but just some days he just looks like he doesn't know what he's doing because it's always risky as a leg spinner to loop it up because it's when the batsman sees the ball right up there, their first initial movement is to go for the shot. but that's where he gets his wickets as well. But when he gets his off days, they just become worse. It goes from bad to worse. So he just needs to find that good line and length where he can really drag the batsman out of their crease and make sure they don't reach the ball in time because that's what he's good at.
But for leg spin, that's hard to do because like that's just the nature of leg spin and the way that he bowls, like flighting it up, because that's his like main way to take wickets. And with the batting approach that teams currently have in T20 cricket, I feel like it becomes hard for him to be part of the squad as because of the evolution of the T20 cricket.
Yeah, that's true. He just needs to find that good mix of when to bowl it flat and when to flight it. So he's not always that predictable.
Let me take a look at Australia's World Cup squad. So they have Travis Head and David Warner, which is most likely going to open with Mitch Marsh one down, and they're going to have Marcus Stoinis, Cam Green, Maxwell there with Tim David coming down.
Yeah, that looks to me like a pretty good squad right there, especially that batting lineup.
Yeah, batting lineup, they're going to go hard from ball one, and they're bowling. Mitchell Stark in this match, he bowled exceptionally well. He executed the Yorkers, and international cricket when it comes to World Cup, he's a different beast.
Yeah, he truly is. This IPL just hasn't really portrayed how good he is, but I'm sure he'll come back strong in the remaining games and he'll do good for Australia. And so the other Pacers, there's also Nathan Ellis, he was part of Punjab Kings, but
Yeah.
didn't get any games. Played, I think, last IPL. He did pretty decent, but he
Yeah,
does
I
have.
don't think Nathan Ellis would make the team. Like, bro, with Pat Cummins, Hazelwood, and Mitchell Stark, them three are guaranteed. And the way that Pat Cummins has been bowling, like against Rajasthan, he got licked in his first 2 overs, but his last 2 overs were some of the best pace bowling I've ever seen because he gave 3 runs in the 16th over. I feel like that bowling by him was the one that changed the match.
Yeah, that's true. He bowled exceptional that game.
Yeah,
Really,
just 3 runs in the way that T20 has been played is crazy, and that too. I think the 18th over he gave 7 runs and took a wicket. I think he got Parag out, who was looking to take the game away.
yeah. I think he got him caught out long gone.
Yeah, that was exceptional bowling.
Yeah, so really, Australia is looking really good. The spinners, they got Ashton Agar, Adam Zampa. Adam Zampa does have experience playing in the USA as he played for LAKR during the
Yeah,
Major League. And Ashton Agar played for Perth Scorchers in the BBL. Has a lot of experience at the high level as well. So it'll be
Maxwell's
interesting to
also
see
there.
their
Maxwell can always bowl a
conversation.
good few overs.
Yeah.
And then Cameron Green is there, Marcus Joynes. So I don't think they're bowling. I think they have a really balanced squad, and their fielding is obviously. I feel like they tick every box.
Yeah.
You can compare them to Rajasthan.
Also, being in the USA, we got to talk about the USA squad that recently just got announced this afternoon.
Here, let me pull it up. So I feel like you would know a lot about this.
Yeah.
So you want to read out some of the names, the major names?
So we got Captain Monank Patel and Vice Captain Aaron Jones. So Monank Patel, this last Canada series, he really teed off. He scored, I think, around 350s in 5 games,
Yeah,
and
that's
really
crazy good, bro.
the glue to this USA batting lineup. We also got some big names that used to play first class or international cricket. Andres Gauss used to play for South Africa. Corey Anderson used to be part of that T20 World Cup squad back, I think, in 2015.
Yeah, I think he scored one of the fastest centuries.
Yeah. And then Ali Khan, we all know, played for LAKR. Harmeet Singh, U19 USA bowler. And there's just lots of big names here. But I think the huge standout that I see as USA talent is Jesse Sting and Nashdus, who both grew up here. So it's good to see them in the team.
Yeah, that shows that cricket's like growing and it'll continue.
Yeah.
And do you think that the experiences of these USA players with that MLC tournament, because I know a lot of international players came, do you think like that like that experience would help them with the international level, like especially with the major tournament like the T20 World Cup?
Yeah, I think definitely. They got exposed to so many great individuals and coaches. So it's a great experience for them to really play at the high level and experience a taste of franchise cricket and high level cricket. So it'll help them because they got used to the conditions and the grounds and stuff like that.
One person I was really impressed with in that MLC was Harmeet Singh. The way that he bowled for Seattle Orcas was exceptional, and it felt like he was one of those like major international players coming to play for them.
Yeah, that's true. He didn't seem out of place at all. He seemed like he fit right in. His economy was excellent, and he kept picking wicket at certain intervals as well. So he was. I think he was one of their main spinners. So it's good to see him performing there.
I mean, it being their first time being part of this major tournament, do you think that they stand a chance against any of the teams?
I think definitely. I think some of the lower level teams, like I think Canada, I think Zimbabwe is also there, and Ireland. They can. I think they have a good chance of competing against them, if not winning as well. And you never know. These people are highly experienced. They've played with these high level people. These guys such as Milind Kumar, Corey Anderson, and let's see, Cheyenne. They all played IPL, so they've played with a lot of these Indian players. So they also know how they play. So it'll be good to see their tactics when going against them.
Yeah, I mean if you're playing like all these teams, you get a lot of experience. So even if they don't win any matches, it would still be really beneficial for the growth of USA cricket.
Yeah, it'll definitely bring up more crowds and more people, not just Indians, but other coaches really focusing on cricket and getting introduced to this.
So with that topic of the T20 World Cup, who are you backing to win this?
It's tough, but I think I've got to go India with just their strength and just their overall dominance.
I mean, yeah, you're obviously gonna pick India, being Indian, but which team do you think stands the best chance? Like with the squad?
I'm not gonna lie. I think Australia definitely has the best well-rounded squad from all the lists so far. They cover all their sections. They have good batsmen, good bowlers, and yeah, they just look like a side to reckon with.
Yeah, I would have to say Australia, but one team which I'm also fearful of is New Zealand and England. Because I feel like New Zealand's always the team that performs in these World Cups, and their team is like really balanced. And I think Trent Bolt is back on the team, so they got Trent Bolt, Lockie, Rachin Ravindra at the top. Tim Southee's exceptional. Mitch Satner's there also.
Yeah, New Zealand has always made it to like playoffs somehow or the other in these last few years in these like ICC tournaments. Their team always seem like the underdogs, but always come out high at the end. They never are favorites to anybody, but somehow always make it like to the top four. So it'll be interesting to see where they place in this T20 World Cup.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I feel like this T20 World Cup has a lot more competition. As like if you look at these squads, the Australia, New Zealand, South Africa, they all have very powerful squads, and I feel like that they're all like equally as good, which would make there be more competition.
Yeah. As we see, even in the IPO, at any given day, any team could win, which is what we love most about IPO. It's not like one sided always all the time. So I think this T20 World Cup will be similar to that. Sometimes we see in like ICC tournaments, it's always one sided with one team. But I think the major teams like New Zealand, Australia, India, England, etc., these teams like any team can win at any given day.
Yeah. So I think I would have to say Australia would win this World Cup. I mean, I don't want them to because that would be their seventh World Cup, I think. But there's nothing we can do, bro.
Yeah, so look very dominant right now.
Yeah, like with their bowlers batting, like I feel like India do have a strong squad, but they do have some flaws within.
Yeah, they also seem a little bit confused. Especially, there's a lot going on in there with like media, a lot of people just like questioning the squad. So I feel like they're just not completely focused.
Yeah, with IPL too, because there's so much controversy created from IPL, especially with Rohit Sharma being sacked as captain.
Yeah, there's a lot going on right now.
So I have a question for you. It's like it's not related to T20, but do you feel that sacking Rohit Sharma was like a correct move by Mumbai Indians?
See, there's always perspectives in everything. So if I say I was from the Mumbai point of view, what I would have thought is you want like a new young captain to like take over after Rohit Sharma like finishes his career. So say something like Ruturaj did with taking over from Dhoni. But I don't think Rohit Sharma is that old yet. I think he's played definitely for another 5 6 years at least. So in my opinion, I think Rohit Sharma should have definitely been captain. You can't just take someone away who's won 5 titles for your team just because of like 1 or 2 bad seasons. What are your
No, but
thoughts?
the thing is, a lot of people think that they sacked Rohit Sharma for Hardik Pandya because Hardik Pandya is young. But how I see it is that okay, Hardik Pandya is on Gujarat, right? He's earning a similar amount of money, and he's a captain of Gujarat. So why would he go to Mumbai Indians if he didn't get captaincy? Because it's I'm pretty sure that Hardik Pandya would not have just gone to Mumbai Indians just for the money. Because Mumbai Indians definitely offered him the captaincy as the reason why he went, and this is why like Rohit Sharma was sacked. It's not because of Rohit Sharma's performances, but rather because they wanted Hardik Pandya really badly, so they had to offer the captaincy.
Yeah, maybe that may be a reason, but like my point is, you can't take away captaincy from like that good of a captain. You know, he is the one who helped India get to that World Cup final in October. His style of play that helped, like he really brought the aggressive style of play. He led it from the front, taking on in the power play, and I'd say he's the main reason India made it to that final. So you can't just take someone that good of a caliber out of captain.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff that he's done is with the captain and the bat is that I have no words for. But think like if I'm part of the Mumbai Indians setup, and if I see that Hardik Pandya is willing to come back to the team if there was captaincy involved, then I feel like I would take it. Because my goal as part of the setup is to try to make Mumbai win most of their matches, and having a player like Hardik Pandya part of a team is good for any team, as he can provide bat and ball.
Yeah, that's true. I think maybe more of that captaincy they wanted him as a player.
Yeah, they want him more as a player, but I feel like captaincy had to be given in order for him to like come to the Mumbai Indians.
Yeah. But another side of it is that he made it to the finals twice, and he just missed out on that win last year just by 1 ball. So maybe they just want maybe think he can continue that winning streak and help them make it to the finals again.
Yeah, they would have benefited, like, because they definitely would have thought that there would be benefits from Hardik Pandya still becoming captain of Mumbai. But I feel like if they had a choice to bring back Hardik Pandya without giving him the captaincy, they would have still kept going with Rohit Sharma.
Yeah,
Yeah, I feel like they had no option and their hands were tied in that situation.
yeah, they probably wanted that another pinch hitter at the back end to help them get more runs. And I think Hardik Pandya opening the bowling as well. It just hasn't been a good move. I think he's a lot of times not giving the ball to Bumrah as well. He got Coetzee and then himself bowling, but I think it's really should be Bumrah and Coetzee.
Yeah, I think I don't blame Hardik Pandya for that as like cause for Gujarat he did the exact same thing. He opened the bowling and he got the ball to swing and he would bowl like a solid two good overs in power play. But I mean if you're having a bowler like Bumrah, I would give him one over in power play and save maybe one in the middle and two in the end. Because by having like a player like Bumrah, he can take wickets in any stage. So I feel like one over in power play is enough for Bumrah.
I think Bumrah should get at least two in the power play, not like depending on situation. Because say he takes 2 3 crucial wickets, there's no need for him to come back because like the main batsmen are already gone. The team will be ahead. Why wait till the end till like they're all set?
But that's a risk that you have to take because if Boomerang doesn't work, then those 2 overs are gone, and he only has 2 overs to come back. And one of those overs will probably use in the middle, and one at the end. I think this is similarly seen with the game against SRH where they scored 277 because Boomerang was found to be like ineffective at all. Because I mean he bowled like economically, but he was still being licked.
Yeah, that's true. I think Hardik Pandya just held him back way too long.
Yeah, I feel like I think I wouldn't give him 2 overs in power play because I just feel like he's like a multi-dimensional cricketer and he can bowl any stage.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think we concluded that in the World Cup squads that I feel that Australia has the strongest squad, and I think that's what you also believe, right?
Yeah, Australia has the strongest squad, but it'll
And
be
just based off squad, you can predict that Australia might win the World Cup.
yeah. But you can't really write down any other team. You never know. At any given day, anybody can win, and it just takes one game to like get that streak of games. After getting in that winning habit, teams just tend to keep riding that wave. It's when you lose that things really go downhill.
Yeah, I guess we're gonna have to see this summer, and I hope you guys come to watch the games and support USA and your nation in this World Cup.
Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you guys.